Okay, there we go. Now we got audio and video. Okay. Hey, buddy. What's up? I think you can hear me. Can you hear me? I had to plug the old snowball microphone in. Oh, awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay. It's my birthday. Today. 11/20. Okay. I haven't tried the new ones. Oh, wait. From Cuba. Did I do that on the other YouTube channel? No, I think those were just like a regular issue cigar. Let me see here. The Trinidad, right? Let's see. Trinidad. Taupes Media Luna. Is it Media Luna? Let's see here. Jeez Louise. I guess a more important question would be, have you tried them? You see your content. Okay, yes I have. I tried, but that's what. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so I did try one on the other YouTube channel, and my draw sucked, and so I really didn't get a good take on that cigar. So as far as it goes, I wouldn't consider that having tried that cigar. Yeah, I've tried one, and it sucked. So, in answer to your question, yes, I have tried it, but I don't think that was representative of this cigar, because Paul, he's rather enjoyed them, and he hasn't had any issues with them at all. So, anyway, so I'm smoking two cigars on my birthday here. I'm smoking a Genio Maduro 5, which is really dark. And then an 898 from 2008, I believe 2008, 898. Very tightly packed, yes. I mean, when I held that cigar in my hand, it was like, oh my God, this thing weighs a ton. I mean, it was like, it actually, I think it weighed more than this one right here, this Cohiba. Or maybe, yeah, it actually, in feeling this is lighter than that was. Ah, that thing weighed a ton. Just, it was rather girthy as far as, yeah. So the draw was okay with you? Because my draw sucked on that cigar. It totally sucked. Hey, are you yeah, it didn't go. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try the 898 first. This one is that one's a good one. Anyway, yeah. How's the weather been over there in London town? Has it been rainy? I mean, I guess that's like a I don't know, a dumb question. I guess it's probably been raining there. Maybe a little snow, getting ready to snow a little bit over there too, I guess. Well, speaking of draw resistance, right out the gate, this thing's got draw resistance. Ah, I thought I picked a good one. These have been hit or miss in this box. I mean, some of them will smoke really well, and some of them will be like this, where it's just like, oh my god, you're like struggling with the cigar the whole way through. Which sucks, because it's basically, what, a 13-year-old cigar? So, yeah. Wow. What's going on with this thing? Now there seems to be a draw, but no smoke. That's a pity. Well, hopefully it'll get better. Cloudy and quite mild, huh? Yeah, I got to go over there and pick up some cigars. I've been wanting to do that for like 2 years now. I got some cigars over there that I want to pick up and do a review on when I take them back to the States. But, you know, for 2 years, we haven't been able to go back and forth or whatever it is. So, I guess around 2 years, yeah. So, yeah, I got to get out there. Yeah, barely any smoke production on this thing at all whatsoever. Unfortunately. God dang. That really does suck. Because when these are on, these are great cigars. Yes, I do, actually. But it's kind of drawn to me like it's not... I don't think a perfect draw is going to help any on this thing. Yeah, I just don't. There's like a hole here as well. Just thinking this thing was rolled kind of funky. I can give the old perfect draw a shot, though. I mean, it's my birthday, so I might just smoke that one and grab a just... I hate to do it, but... But I don't want to be struggling with a cigar on my birthday. I just want to smoke a cigar and enjoy it. I don't want to sit here and futz around with it, you know? Well, maybe there's a little knot in there, right there. Seems to have a little bit... Okay, it's pushing through a little resistance there. Nah. It's like going all the way up. Yeah, I just think that the roll on this thing was just... And I tried to pick one out of the box with just a little bit of give, not a lot. And, yeah. I think this thing is going to be a struggle. And I don't want any part of that. Bummer. And I know it's not wet. The cigar's like 13 years old. Drag. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, there's been a lot of shortages everywhere. There's been a lot of shortages of Cuban cigars. So yeah, Nick, this is an 898. It's like about 13 years old, and it's my birthday today, and so, but it's smoking like crap. It's not smoking good at all. Yeah. I think that we should just move on from this. Put it down and then deal with it later. Yeah, I'm not struggling with a cigar like this on my birthday. That's for sure. This is not happening. Not on my birthday. No, sir. Okay, well, next. Thanks, man. Thanks for the happy birthday. All right, let's see what we can do with this. Now, if this one sucks with the draw, I don't know what to do. I was going to smoke a Bahique, but I don't know. I just wasn't in the mood for a Bahique. This draw's a little tight, too. I mean, I know I can pull a cigar out of there that will smoke. Yeah, this straw's a little tight too, but I think I can sally forth. So that in London, you got to wear a mask everywhere though in London, or how's that working? So Nick, now I'm smoking a Henio Maduro from I think 17. This is about 4 years old now. Yeah, this one's kind of a struggle too. God damn. It's not drawn as bad as that 898 was, but still. I mean, I want something to just produce a shit ton of smoke and just be enjoyable. And not have to... Oh well, I can think of worse problems. Yeah, that's the way it is here too, right? Public transportation, you have to wear a mask. So you guys are kind of like the States. Although it depends. Like in Orange County, where I'm at right now, which is Southern California, but it's south of LA, everything is pretty much, you can go anywhere you want to with no mask, and then public transit, you got to wear a mask. If you're in LA, Los Angeles, you need to wear a mask inside stores and all that other kind of stuff, plus public transportation, plus all that stuff. So it just depends on where you're at in Southern California. If you're in LA County, they're very strict. In Orange County, they really Orange County's been pretty much this whole way through the whole pandemic. It hasn't been that bad. So I've been spending a lot of time in Orange County. Anyway. Yeah, this one's smoking a little bit better, but not much. Two bad choices. Okay, Myron. Thanks for the birthday greeting. I really appreciate that. Yeah, that's what I'm doing this right now is... Actually, let's do this. Dude Lounge Live... Dude Lounge birthday. There we go. Oh. B-I-R-T-H-D-A-Y, not E. D. There we go. There we go. Hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing? So, yeah. Anyway, bummer. Just hate it when cigars don't smoke. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate the birthday wishes. Well, anyway, yeah, I've been smoking a lot of non-Cuban stuff too, and it just every time, the difference between Cuban and non-Cuban tobacco is just there is a difference there, and I don't know. I mean, I hate to sound like a Cuban snob, but I mean, I have better experiences. Let's just put it this way: my experiences smoking non-Cuban cigars as opposed to Cuban cigars, as far as flavor goes, I enjoy the flavor of the Cuban tobacco much more regularly than the non-Cuban tobacco. Let's just say that. Let's put it that way. Now, the smoking experience on the non-Cuban cigars is 100% better than the Cuban. Like right now, I got two cigars. One of them is about 13 years old, which didn't draw for shit. And I got this one here. This is about 4 years old, and this is not drawn for shit. Now, the flavor of the tobacco, I like it, but as far as it goes for all the other stuff that goes with it, I mean, if you can't enjoy the draw on a cigar, I mean, what's the point? So, anyway, I just, that's been my experience. Although there are some non-Cuban cigars that are like, yeah, they taste okay. But for the most part, the flavor-wise, the Cuban stuff has been better for me. But I keep out there trying to find non-Cuban stuff. Yeah, I mean, like I did that Andalusian Bowl, which was good. And then that, what is it, the one that I really liked that I smoked from, that was non-Cuban, was the Pure de Oro, or no, that wasn't it. Yeah. Where are you? There it is. The Joy de Nicaragua La Premier. Now, that cigar was a great cigar, and that was non-Cuban tobacco. That cigar was, to me, was a phenomenally good cigar. But it's kind of rare, and it doesn't taste like a typical Joy de Nicaragua, just like the Andalusian Bull doesn't taste like a typical La Fleur, LFD, La Fleur Dominicana, right? The Andalusian Bull. So, there are some winners out there, I think, but, all in all, I think, percentage-wise, as far as it goes for Cuban and non-Cuban, the experience for me has been better with the Cuban tobacco as far as flavor goes. Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, if you get the flavor, though, I mean, Cuban tobacco, I don't know what they do over there, what the difference is. They say it's the microclimate, all that other kind of stuff, or whatever. I don't know, but I mean, to me, it's a better smoking experience. But I'm half tempted to let this one go out too, because I'm just not enjoying it. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's getting a little better. Thank goodness. But don't you just hate that? Just like struggling to, it's just like it's just not. I don't know. For me, I just want to smoke a cigar and not have any issues with it. That's why I've been smoking a lot of non-Cubans, even though for me the experience most of the time is like kind of average. as far as the flavor goes and everything like that, and the tasting notes, at the end of the day, the smoking experience is better. You don't have to struggle with it or anything like that. I can't even think of the last time there was a non-Cuban cigar that I smoked that I actually had to set down or get a different one. I can't even think when that's been. It's been that long. I mean, there has been times, but I mean, I can think of the last time I laid down a Cuban cigar, which is right here, 898, and this one is like, freaking crazy. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna post that tomorrow. There's one that I just did, and it's a very long video. It's gonna be 42 minutes long, and so just to give you a heads up on that, but it's a 42-minute video on some cigars, and it's going to be more than one cigar in the review. So that's why it's so long and lengthy, is that there's going to be 5 cigars in the review. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm going to do that one tomorrow, release that one tomorrow, and hopefully people are going to stick with it or watch the whole thing or whatever. But it's rather lengthy and rather long. But I must say that all the cigars in that review smoked good, and they were all Cuban cigars. They all had great, no issues with draw or smoke production or anything like that. There was no issues with that. There was issues with the tasting notes and some of the flavors and stuff like that in there, but all in all, no construction draw issues at all whatsoever on those cigars. And those cigars were 16 years old. So anyway, that's something to look forward to. Best double Corona. Well, I would think myself personally, I mean, I'm not a big fan of double Coronas, so I'm not a big fan of them. But and the thing is that I mean, if I had to choose, it would be a Ramon Ayón double Corona, the Gigantes, for me personally. As far as the double Corona goes, that would be something that, out of all of them, that I would smoke consistently. If all I could smoke were double Coronas, then yeah, I mean, as far as it goes at the end of the day, like regular production, double Coronas, for me personally, I think it would be the Ramon Ayón. Because there's a bunch of limitadas and regional editions. Actually, a double Corona that I actually enjoyed, but it was a regional edition, was the Platino edition Regional India. That was actually a pretty decent cigar. It was pretty good. I enjoyed smoking that cigar. But I mean, that's not a regular production cigar. I mean, if you're talking regular production cigars, I'd have to go with stuff that's that's not discontinued, and that would be the Ramon Ayón. A lot of those things have been discontinued now, right? So you have Hoyo, you have Ramon Ayón, and Partagas, right? I mean, that's pretty much all you have left as far as double Coronas go. So there's not a lot of choice. But for me personally, it'd be the Ramon Ayón. That would be my personal. Thank you for the birthday. Appreciate it. Yeah, I should nearest Cuban. Yeah, the newer Cuban cigars. They've been kind of hit or miss because Kai was talking about the new the Trinidad Galleans or whatever, which I smoked it and it had the same kind of draw problems as this. That's a rather new cigar, but as far as it goes for new, and those Partagas shorts that I had a box of 50, those had draw problems to them. Now, Hoyt Monterey Epicure number 2s, I haven't had any problems with. Por La Renaga, Monte Carlos, and the Petite Coronas, I haven't had any problems. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Sir, ma'am, I'm not sure whether it's a man or a woman, so thank you. Mecklenburg Cuban Cigars. I'll just go with that. That way I'm not stepping on any toes. Thank you for the birthday salutations. I appreciate that. So yeah, they've gotta figure this out, though, I guess. I mean, how is it that non-Cuban cigar manufacturers can manufacture all their cigars, you smoke them, and you don't really have, although, what was it, well, for the most part, let's just say for the most part, you don't have a lot of issues with the draw and the smoke production, although the, god dang, what are those? I had some serious problem with them. Like, there was, like, holes in the cigar, and I like the brand of cigar. I like the flavor of them, actually. They're pretty good when they smoke, but the problem is that you get a lot of issues with them, and I will tell you what they are. Was it these right here? Yeah, Aganorsa Salif Signature Selection. I love those cigars. They're cheaper cigars, but they can have major smoke production problems. And those cigars are like, I mean, they've got like a couple years of age on them too. Like they age the tobacco and everything like that with the Signature Selection Aganorsa Salif, and the flavor's good on them. I mean, it's not like your typical Cuban cigar flavor, of course, not that, but they're good and they're enjoyable when they smoke. But I've had a lot of issues with those cigars as well, which is unfortunate, because I really like the flavor of those cigars when they're on. But like, they're literally like, you'll see it's not a tunnel hole, but it's like, I guess the leaf doesn't get bunched together inside the cigar, or like there might be a stem or something like that creates a huge like air hole. So when you draw on the cigar, you'll see like a hole, like 2 or 3 holes in the cigar. So you're puffing on the cigar, you're getting tons of air coming through the cigar, but of course with those holes in the bunching of the leaves inside the cigar is not igniting any tobacco to get any smoke. So yeah, the Aganorsa leaf. But for the most part, non-Cuban to Cuban cigars, hands down, the Cubans can have issues. Okay, Mike. Thanks, Ollie. Thank you very much for that. This is Fran. I am smoking a Cohiba Maduro 5 Genio is what this is. And then I started with a Partagas 898, which was not drawing well at all. So, and I'm almost getting to the point on this cigar here where I might have to pull out something else, because this one's got draw problems. We're talking about draw problems with cigars, so I'm thinking that the newer cigars, though, they're getting better, I think, at not having where you have half the box is unsmokable and the other half is, which is a total waste of money. I think they're getting better at that. You know what? The San Luis Rey double Coronas were pretty good. Smaller format cigars. Plenty of smoke coming off the tip, but none out of my mouth. Look at that. That thing is just like billowing smoke out of there. but there's nothing coming through here. This is crazy. This is like one of those days where I'm cursed. Yeah, there we go. Look at that though. God damn. Like tons of smoke coming off of there, but hardly any on the draw. Holy shit. Yeah. It is. The punch double Corona is. Okay, yeah. All right. So there's 4 out there, right? You got the Hoyo, the Punch, the Partagas, and the Ramonion, right? 4 double Corona out there. I'm telling you. See, I've had a lot more luck with smaller format cigars in the sense of smoking experience and draw problems, less draw problems. Although, like I said, those Partagas shorts were terrible. They were awful. I mean, that was like, it felt like, 2000 all over again. 1999, 1998. Although a lot of the stuff from that era is starting to smoke because people have let it age. Okay. I'm going for cigar number 3. I gotta grab another cigar. That's ridiculous. Okay, here we go. Now these never fail me. These are from like what, the 1980s. Quintero. Nacionales. And these never fail me. Smaller format cigar. But look at the look at the cello on this thing. You can see that. It's like yellow. Very jaundiced. Yeah. So these have never let me down. So I will be back because this has got to go underneath the water. Grace. Okay. Gave this one a bath. You can see it's nice and shiny, wet. Lots of water on there. 5-second dunk underneath the water. Like I always say, you want to do a vintage cigar or a very well-matured cigar under the water for like a 5-second dunk. And yeah. And by the time I'm done lighting this up, all that water will be just sucked into the wrapper. There we go. Now, if this one doesn't smoke, I don't know what to say. Now that's the way a cigar should smoke. Right there. Yes. So yeah. If you see on this thing too, on this box, so back in the 80s, okay, or the older cigars, if you can see this, so when you cut open the box here, the way that they used to do it is the paper used to go all the way over the box. So you see right here where the paper is on this side of the box, it went over there. So it totally covered and made it pretty much airtight. You can see along here it rolled over and rolled over on there, right? So your seams here, when you cut through it, when you go to open it up, when you cut through it, it's an airtight seal, pretty much, when they put that paper over it. It's not like the newer boxes today where they individually wrap here and then they just put the box lid down and this is all individually wrapped. Back in the day, this was all covered and then they put the wrapper over it and then it sealed it up. That's the difference between the older boxes of cigars, and I think they stopped doing that kind of whatever on the cigar boxes. Stopped doing that probably in the later 80s to the early 90s. They stopped doing that. I want to say off the top of my head, they stopped doing that. But this was, you know, like I said, that's the way that they used to do it. So that's a little something to know moving forward. As you can see, most of the water is gone now. Pretty much, you know, there's some big drops there, but those are going to go away pretty quickly and get sucked into the wrapper. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many cigars I've done that with where it's just like, you know, but it's not cool sitting here with kind of wasted cigars. I mean, I'm going to probably revisit them and go back to them later and fiddle around with them, but right now, no. Thank you, One Cigar, for the birthday nationales, friend. Yeah, the Brevas would be in a different box. The Brevas would be in the tinier box with the foil, which those cigars, yeah, Quintero Brevas, the older ones in that foil. Oh my God, that's a good cigar. Anyway, smaller format. Yeah. Well, I wanted to give some love to Partagas and Cohiba, but Quintero's getting my love. The aged Breva, I like the Brevas. Yeah, Monte Carlo is a good solid cigar. I like Por La Renaga in general. I like the Por La Renaga in general. The Hoyo du Deputy. I mean, to me, Hoyos, the thing about Hoyo de Monterrey, for me personally, this has been my own personal observation on this thing, they seem to be more smokable younger than aged. So, when you get some seriously aged Hoyos, I'm not as impressed with those as they are when they're like in, say, the 8 to 15 range, somewhere in there. They seem to taste kind of at their peak around that time, as opposed to being aged further out. Once again, that's my own opinion, my own personal opinion on that. So, you know, I like the Hoyo de Monterrey line. I just don't like like them aged for long periods of time. I don't think that they age for long periods of time, unlike, you know, some of the other ones like Bolivar off the top of my head, or Por La Renaga, or Partagas. Some of the other ones that, you know, Quintero actually ages pretty good. Oh, the Monte Carlos. That's probably because all anybody can get right now is the the slim Panatellas, because nobody wants to smoke them. Everybody wants to smoke a big old cigar like this, or bigger, get all that tobacco and stuff. So, I don't know. I mean, the smaller format cigars, when they're aged, I mean, they smoke pretty good, and I don't know, there's good flavor to them. But yeah, maybe there's going to be a renaissance to smaller format cigars. Who knows? I mean, that would be kind of cool. I would love it if they made more Lonsdales that smoked. That would be really great to me, for me personally. I like the Lonsdale. I like that format. That's one reason why I picked that out to smoke today was the 898. I like that format. Long and skinny. I really enjoy that. Goddamn, this thing's kicking in. Got some really nice honey sweetness in there, and you can still see there's like a couple of drops of water. But I mean, when I first took this out, it was soaked with water. I said that I'm going to be releasing something tomorrow, so and that's it's going to be a pretty extensive unboxing, so to speak, of the box that I did, because there's 5 cigars. So that's a little hint as to what it's going to be. There's 5 cigars in there, and it's from 2005. So that's about all I'm going to do. Oh, that's the second one. The first one was this one, the 898. The second one was this one, the Genio Maduro. The third one is this Quintero Nacionales. So yeah, 2 cigars with not so good a draw. And you can see that's kind of like, it's not, normally when you get a good cigar, the cone in there is going to be sticking up and the outsides are going to be, it's going to be more like a cone, like a pyramid, right? It's going to be like that. Not so flat. Now this one here, since it's such short filler in there, it's not going to get very conical very much, and the ash is going to come off. But for some reason, I don't know why, even though this is a short filler cigar, they seem to age pretty well and they seem to taste pretty good. So I don't know why that is, but I'm enjoying the fact that these are not very well loved cigars by aficionados, and knuckleheads like me can pick these up for a pretty decent price and enjoy the hell out of them. So Monte Especial. Yeah, I mean they're okay. I'm kind of like, I guess, in the majority, I guess, with the Monte 2. I really enjoy the Monte 2. The Monte Especials, which are kind of like the Cohiba Lancero, right? You get the Especial and the Especial number 2, I believe. Yeah, I mean, but there's something that's magical about the way that the Monte Cristo number 2 is, and I don't know what that is. And then when it goes with that smaller format, I don't seem to enjoy it as much, the flavor profile as much in that smaller format as I do in the Monte 2. For whatever reason, I don't know why. I just don't know. And, because I've smoked them Edmundo, Double Edmundo, Petite Edmundo, Open, all the Open stuff, Especial number 2s, all of those, and I just keep coming back to the Monte number 2 for some reason on that, and it's just like, maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's my brain or whatever, but it just seems to me to be the format for that cigar. It's just like, that's where the magic happens, in that that vitola, right? That pyramid, or it's a pyramidi. And I don't know, it just seems to be that's where the magic happens. And I've talked to people. Yeah, La Aurora. Some of them I have smoked. The 100 Años actually did. I believe I did a video on this channel on the 100 Años La Aurora, and that cigar is still a kick-ass cigar today. I mean, that came out in 2003, I think, 2003. So they're 18 years old now, and you can find them out there. And the Bellicoso, there's 3 different sizes of that La Aurora 100 Años, and I think they came out with a 4th one somehow, whatever. But there's like a Churchill, and there's the Bellicoso, and then there's something else with the La Aurora. And like I was talking about the Monty 2, the Bellicoso on the 100 Años La Aurora is the sweet spot. That's the magic cigar right there out of that. You know, the punch short to punch, I was thinking of smoking one of those today, but I'm just going to let it sit longer. I just wanted to let it sit longer. But I mean, it's in the humidor, and I'm like, when I go in there to smoke stuff, I look at it and I see it, but I'm just kind of letting those sit down and age more. Because, I mean, I know everybody was raving about those cigars, and me personally, I was like, okay, if you say so. I mean, the ones that I smoked, I mean, I guess I got a bad batch of them, and they didn't really smoke that, they didn't taste that good. I mean, they smoked well. I mean, the construction and everything like that on that cigar was good, but as far as it went for the flavor and the taste on that cigar was just, to me, was not that good for my palate. So I'm going to lay them down and age them a while longer. Just let them sit. I've been talking and not smoking. Have you smoked the one with the 100 Años, though, Fran? Have you smoked that cigar? No, it's not that. Good guess. That's a good guess, Chris. But that's not it. That's a good guess. Now I was thinking on the so in Facebook, if you're in the group Smoking Vintage Cigars, I think it says you can create a room in there where people can go in there. So I'm not sure. Add video. I'm not sure if you can. It says that you can add video to this thing. I don't know how to add video to the. I didn't do enough research on it. So I was thinking of doing, like, if you're in the Smoking Vintage Cigars, Smoking Vintage Cigars Facebook group, there's I can create a room, and I think you can do video chat. I think it might use Messenger. I'm not sure, but that one right there is a good smoke too. The Liga L40, that was actually pretty good. I like that cigar. And it wasn't like a typical Liga Privada. Speaking of non-Cuban cigars. But has anybody ever done those rooms in Facebook groups where you know, I think, right, you can use video in those Facebook groups. I was thinking of like putting up a link to that group in this, and then see if anybody could go over to that, and then you could do a live video on it, on that, and then everybody could just kind of like do it, as opposed to doing Zoom or whatever it is on there. So anyway, maybe that's something in the future. Yeah, so yeah, London, Kai, whatchamacallit, yeah, normally I'll stay in Paddington. Is it Paddington? I think Paddington, right by where the rail comes in over there. And then I go over and pick up my cigars. But yeah, I need to get over there as soon as I can. Pick up those. They've been there for 2 years. Those cigars have been in London. So anyway, another year older. Oh boy, another year older. Time just keeps flying by. And it seems, even though like everybody's been locked down and locked in and all that, it's just, man, this year has just like gone by like crazy. I mean, fast, crazy fast. I mean, we're already here in winter, and the holiday season, well, not winter yet, but fall, holiday season's coming up and everything like that. I mean, it's like crazy, you know, and then it's going to be New Year's, and then off to 2022. Crazy. Freaking nuts. Hey, so Kai, are you on Instagram? Because if you're on Instagram, when I get over to London, I can DM you over there on Instagram, and then maybe we can meet up, you know, at JJ Fox. Because it sounds to me like you're fairly close, or you're within striking distance of going to JJ Fox or Davidoff, or have you been to Solder Cigars too as well? And but there's a few over there that could do samplings and stuff. So anyway, if you're on Instagram, you know, let's do that, because I am planning on heading over to London. I don't know when, but I will be there. I say within the next let's just say within the next year, because who knows what's going to happen within the next year. But I plan on being in London at least within the next year, so that's my plan. The Davidoff shop in London. Last time I was in London, no, I went to JJ Fox. I was there, and it was, every time I go to London, it's really short and really brief. I'm usually there for like a day or two, and then I'm gone. The last time I was in London, though, was for Wimbledon. I was there like in 2019, I think. That's the last time I was in London. Long time ago. Now that's what a proper cigar should do, right there. Couple of light tugs, plenty of smoke, perfect. Perfect, perfect. Absolutely. Man. Good stuff. So, Frank, you never answered my question. If you smoked 100 Anyas. Yeah, and did you guys watch that video of the cleaning resin? So this ashtray was completely filthy in the video. And as you can see, it's totally clean now. Just using Everclear, 190 proof Everclear to clean it. Yeah, like 90% alcohol. You can use isopropyl, but 90% alcohol just like cuts through that resin really good. And then if you're a pipe smoker, you don't want to use isopropyl, but you want to do the Everclear to clean stuff up in that as well. But yeah, it's a good little trick. I did a little video on that, like a 2-minute video, when I was down in Arizona visiting my mom down there. Yeah, that would suck too, to like give away these cigars to somebody and then have it not smoke. Everything I've read has said the festival is happening this year. That's what I've read. I don't know about the Partagas one though. The part, it's actually turning into now where the festival, you want to go to because that one is just like just a shit show now. Like there's just tons of people and everything like that. And the Partagas Festival is actually the one to go to now, that people are talking about that, because it's not as well known, and it's better to go to. It's kind of like the way that the old festival used to be when it first started happening. When now it's turned into like a thing. Kind of like the Monte Carlos. Or the Slim Panatellas. Yeah, I'm not sure about the Partagas Festival. That might be going. You have to type that in. Partagas. Holy shit. So the Partagas Festival is 1,290 Great British Pounds, 1020 euros, 1220. So $1,290. Yeah. I mean, that's just so crazy how much money these things have turned into. Yeah, crazy. But it said the festival del Habano is I believe it's going to happen in February. And I read that, and then I just read that. So, anyway. been to Cuba. I have been to Cuba. Just not that Cuba. Been to Guantanamo Bay. That's where I've been. In Cuba. But not Havana or anything like that. Have not been there for any festivals or anything like that. And, so, yeah. Nope. Not there. I guess maybe eventually I might go. Seems how it's somewhat easy for me to get there with doing the airfare and stuff like that, but probably I don't know. I really don't have a big desire to go to Cuba, but that's just me. Anyway. So anyway, guess everybody's busy on a Saturday. Yeah, because we're down. I don't know who's in here, who's watching. There's just one other person, just you and me. That's it. Everybody else is signed off. But yeah. It's my birthday. I figured I'd come on here and just say hi to everybody. And finally smoke a cigar. Anybody that's interested. Kind of like just popping in though. That way people can watch, I guess, the replay. I guess people do watch the replays of these things. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. Asking about the Partagas shorts. Partagas shorts. Yeah, the last box that I got sucked. Oh, you're not late to the party. Not at all. Just went through, this is my third cigar out of 3. Yes, the last review of the Partagas shorts that I did, that was a bad batch of Partagas shorts. So I finally had to go to a 1980s Quintero Nacionales after starting with an 898 from like 2008 that is not smoking. Then I decided to smoke a Cohiba Genio Maduro that just didn't smoke well at all. Now this one. So the box date, oh gosh, what was that? Let me see here. ASR June 2018. That's, I'm pretty sure. ASR June 2018. So they had some age on them, but they just did not smoke well. And I've got that box sitting in there, and I was half tempted to pull one out the other night just to smoke it, and it was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna get burned by the stove twice. I'm just gonna let them sit in there, and hopefully they'll open up. I'm hoping. A Punch Mantua, wow, fancy. Those cigars are all the rage. Those Punch Mantuas. I like the way that they did those. What is it? The Italian releases. They really, with doing the oh god, whatchamacallit, La Sepsión. Redoing La Sepsión and doing those releases in Italy. I mean, those were good cigars too. Actually, I really enjoyed those. The Punch Mantua. I haven't had the Punch Mantua, but yeah, the La Sepsiones are like, those are good cigars, I think. But the Punch Mantua got a lot of good press on it. I know that. But they were expensive. I don't know, how much did those set you back? I mean, those were not cheap. Yeah, those Punch Mantuas were not cheap at all. Yeah, 1,100 a box. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, June 29. Okay, that's good to know. June 2019. That's a good thing to know. Yeah, I don't know. I probably just got just like those. Oh, an anniversary gift. That's that's a nice anniversary gift. Someone really cares about you. That's very nice. Yeah, I've been smoking so many non-Cuban cigars that I was like thinking, okay, I'm gonna smoke this cigar, and my palate's gonna be like off or something. But no, I mean this cigar is smoking great. It tastes great. You know, Italy is like really funky for cigars. I had a friend of mine, well, Paul, on the Smoking Real Lounge that I smoke with. He was in Italy and he could not find anything in Italy at all. They were just sold out of everything in Italy over there, and so yeah, you're gonna have a hard time finding that stuff in Italy. I think it's just, I don't know what, they're crazy about cigars. I mean, Italians really are into Cuban cigars quite a bit. Well, you're probably going to be okay. Yeah, you know what? Let me see here, because I got the box over here. Let me check it out. I think that's 2018. Yep. Yeah, here we go. Right there. Yeah, that box sucks. Soapy, kind of soapy, floral. Um, it's just a very off-putting, um, non-organic, I guess, kind of a flavor on a cigar when they're really young. You know, I think a lot of people, because a lot of people say that it's got a floral note in it. Like I've read stuff or heard stuff from people that are reviewed cigars and they've had that off-putting floral kind of thing in there, and that's why I say soapy floral, because I think that kind of relates to people better. To me, it's just kind of soapy, like really literally like you have hand soap in your mouth. I mean, it's just that kind of a aftertaste on the palate. That's what I mean by a soapy floral flavor on the cigar. Yeah, because I think that a lot of people equate floral with that, but I'm not sure. I mean, but that's, to me, that's because there's floral notes that you get in cigars, in various cigars, that are quite good. You know, and it's more of a floral, flowery kind of a thing, not soapy. So I've just kind of added the soapy floral kind of thing in there, just so maybe people can relate to that. Oh, box of 25. Okay. Well, Mike, mine was a box of 25 too, because half of them were not smokable. So I got a box of 25 too. I paid for 50, but I got a box of 25. So there it is there. But I think I did a review on a box of 25, and people were like, "On, you know, you should have got the cabinet of 50," and it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, I'm thinking 2019 is probably a pretty good year for sticks. 2019, 18, maybe not so much, but I'm just thinking 18 because 08 was really good. 07 and 08 seemed to be a really good year for Cuban cigars as well. That seemed to be a really good years for Cubans. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, like we were talking about earlier, like how you know, the quality of Cuban cigars I think has gotten better, but you know, they've always had that rap where, like, you know, they taste good. The flavors can be better, I think, than non-Cuban cigars, but at the end of the day, if you're buying a box of 50 and then you're only able to smoke 25 of them, I mean, that's like crazy, you know, or half a box of 25 is unsmokable. So, but hopefully the quality's going to get better. I'm hoping. One can only hope. I mean, every year you're just kind of hoping every year for something to get better, and it doesn't ever seem, well, maybe it is. So you never know, because they're very secretive about all of their stuff that they do. So yeah, and I think that that's going to be kind of a trend moving forward as well. I think that whatever they're doing in Cuba to their cigars, they're going to smoke better young. That's just my opinion. People are impatient. They don't want to age. But I mean, what I've said, though, is what they should do is they should do what they're doing now with the cigars where you can smoke them young. And then they should do cigars where it's like old school. Like where if you open up that box, you're going to smell manure, barnyard, like coming off that box like crazy, and ammonia. And they should box cigars like that too, and like put a special designation on those cigars, like saying, you know, these need to be aged, right? And I think that those would probably sell for a premium price as well, because you would put them in there and age them, and, you know, let that ammonia and all that barnyard wick out, and then the tobacco would develop those flavors and everything like that moving forward. Yeah, I did. Yeah, like, but I'm just thinking though that they're making the cigars now more approachable young, as opposed to back in the day when, the whole idea of getting young Cuban cigars, a year or two old, was the fact that you would get them and you would lay them down for, between 5 and whatever years before they start developing. And I just think it's the way that they're processing everything in the tobacco and everything like that moving forward to make them approachable young. So are they going to age well? Me personally, I don't think they're going to age as well because they're so approachable young as if they were in the old days, where you don't approach them young, you age them, you lay them down, and then they get better with age. I just think that it's going to be kind of like the non-Cuban world, where you have cigars, you smoke them, they're ready to smoke now, and then if you lay them down and age them for any considerable period of time, they start to really lose their flavor after a shorter period of time, like a way shorter period of time. Whereas, stuff like this, back in the day, I mean, this stuff is still smoking good now, and this is like a 40-year-old cigar. So I think that's what the trade-off's going to be, is that the cigars are going to be, you're just going to smoke them young, and that's going to be it. It's going to be more like a non-Cuban world. But like I said, it would be really cool if they could do both. They could just have like a certain amount that they do the old way, where it has the ammonia and everything like that, and it's extremely strong and pungent, and then you lay them down. Yeah, but Chris, I don't see that happening as much now as it did over, say 20 plus years ago. I don't see it happening as much now. It can happen. I mean, I have opened up a few boxes here and there, especially like on the like those Vagueros that I opened up in the tin. Stuff like that. I've encountered that, but like the mainline stuff, the stuff that's the global brand stuff and everything like that, I haven't run into too much of that. Exhibition number 4, yeah. Yeah, Bolivar. But Bolivar, you can, I mean, even back in the day, the Bolivars, you could still smoke fairly young, like at 5 to 7 years, you could start smoking those things, and you'd be pretty well off on that, and, moving forward, and they would age really well, too. But, yeah, I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. Ugh. But this one here, finally, the third time's a charm. This cigar's smoking good. Really enjoying it. There's just like a honey sweetness that's coming off of this cigar. It's just like incredible. And it's a 40-year-old cigar. I had a friend of mine that we were talking with. He's like, well, you're smoking those 40-year-old cigars and stuff like that, they don't have any flavor to them, do they? And I'm like, well, some don't, and some do. It just depends on what you get. Vegas Robena? Yeah. I like the Unicos. The Vegas Robena Unico, that's a good cigar. I mean, at the end of the day, though, it all comes down to like what you like. And here you go. Here's a prime example. Hey, William. Thanks for joining me on my birthday. But here, you know, back in the day, you would get cigars and you would smoke them. And I don't know if you can see that. Let me see here. You see that oil on there that's coming off of the cigar into the band? I mean, that's what I'm talking about. You know? And then you pull a band off a cigar now, and you don't get a lot of that anymore. I mean, that's just like an oily. That's just the oils from the cigar, right? That are leaching into the band. And like you'll smoke some, you know, vintage cigars like that, where you know, like, I mean, the cigar must have been like very off-putting in the beginning, and it's not now because it's been aged for so long. But you'll pull off the band and you'll have like that'll be just like, you know, the oils have leached into the band from the cigar. I mean, I've definitely some bands from some old Boulevards. I pulled off the band and like, you're like, whoa. Yeah, that's where's that? Oh, there we go. That's one from a 7-year-old cigar. It's not showing it. Dang. That was a good cigar. I don't know if you can see that. God dang it. This camera's just not focusing. There you go. That was a good cigar. So was that one. God dang it. There you go. That was a good cigar. This was a great cigar too. Oh shoot. My camera's getting hot. I think that fixed it. Yeah, I was doing 4K on a Canon. It lasted for an hour and 20 though before it started getting too hot. So then I had to put it over to full HD because you can't do 4K anyway. Doesn't matter. But those were some good cigars. I keep some bands in here from stuff that I've smoked that's like been pretty memorable, like this one. That was a really pretty memorable cigar as well. There I go talking again and not smoking. Yeah. So yeah, I just think that if they did that, it would probably. I think that those cigars would actually probably sell better than the ones that are just regular issue cigars. They would get more money for them too if they did it that way. But that's my own opinion. But people are very impatient these days. They just want to pull it out of the box and smoke it. And that's understandable too. Absolutely. I mean, you could actually probably compare years, right? So they do the one fermentation methods from, say, 2021, right? And then they do the other fermentation method in 2021. So you could buy a box of each, say the same brand, same marca, right? Same Vitola. Say like a Boulevard Royal Corona, right? Boom. Boulevard Royal Corona with the newer fermentation method. Boulevard Royal Corona with the classic fermentation method. And then you could kind of see how they aged moving forward. Use the same tobacco, same everything, except that one, they do a different fermentation method, right? And you could see how they progress and how they would kind of go like this, and then maybe the classic would go like this, and then the other one would like kind of drop off. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's the problem, Michael. I mean, like, seriously, people just don't have the patience to do that, or the money, I mean, it's like, this isn't a cheap hobby. They've pretty much, as far as factory production, yes. I think for the quality of the cigar, like in the sense of like, smoking and the construction and everything like that, I think factory production does matter there, absolutely, with that. As far as the tobacco goes, no. But yeah, like the rolling and everything like that, yeah, factories do matter. And that's why back in the day, like you could actually tell, like, okay, this is coming from this factory, these are good. This is coming from this factory, not so good. It's harder to tell what factory what's coming from these days with everything on there. You can't really do it. But back in the day, you could actually tell. Yeah, kind of like that. But, I mean, for some reason, which they have discontinued the Anahata program, right? I think you're saying Anahata program. When they age them in Cuba, I think that the problem there is, I think the reason the Anahata program failed miserably, in my personal opinion, is the fact that they're aging them in Cuba. They don't have the methods that a normal person would have somewhere else with the refrigeration and the humidity and everything like that, being able to control all that stuff in where they're producing the cigars in Cuba. And so I think that that's why the Anahados program failed miserably, is the fact that they aged them. Yeah, the cigars are aged, but they're aged, I think, at a higher temperature, higher humidity, and moving forward, that aging process, for whatever they did over there, it wicked out a lot of the flavor and everything like that out of the cigar. And a lot of times those Anahados are like not that good, you know, and they're just, the flavor's lacking, and the construction is okay, but it's just like the flavors that you get from normally aging a cigar. I mean, what you get, it's like almost like it, when they age it over there, it almost accelerates the aging process so much that after the time they've aged it and then they sell it to you, it's already done. It's just really bizarre how that has been moving forward with the Anahados program. So I haven't done the Romeo Churchill's Anahados. I haven't done those yet, but they haven't gotten good reviews at all. I mean, like I've always said, though, the only one that I've smoked that actually was pretty good was the Monte Cristo Churchill Anahado. That was actually a pretty good cigar. But all the rest that I've smoked have been very underwhelming, to say the least. Which is kind of sad, because they have everything there, but I just think that they need to, if they're going to age it over there, they really need to like lower the temperature and do a slower aging process on their stuff over there, and lower humidity, lower temperature, and do that moving forward, as opposed to what they've achieved over there so far. I mean, I could be wrong. They could be aging it, you know, at say 65, but I don't think so. And even then, if you're going to age stuff, I think do any kind of aging or whatever, you want to lower that temperature a lot more than 65. So, yeah. But no more Anahados. That program is done. But yeah, Michael, to your point, I mean, you know, you're going to spend, well, say on your Punch Mantuas, you're going to spend $1,100 on a box of cigars. Do you really want to wait 5 years to smoke those cigars? You really don't. You know, that's a cigar I should have smoked today, was the Churchill Anahado Monte Cristo, to see how they're coming along. Because I haven't smoked one in a few years. And, but like I said, when I smoked them, they were pretty darn good. But that's about it. It's the only ones that I've smoked that I thought were any good. But this cigar is smoking really good. Tiny little cigar. And plenty of smoke. Just taking a couple drags off of it. Not getting hot. Just smoking great. Yeah. So no more guesses, Chris? You were close. You were close on that, actually. Yeah, Lancero, Lonsdale, um, thin ring gauge cigars. I like Petite Coronas, Corona Gordas. Yeah, but I mean, I just think the trend is just, people want. I mean, if you're gonna spend, say, $1,000 on a box of cigars, you want to get a lot of bang for your buck. So it's coming down to that, right? Where I think people want more bang for their buck. So people think that the bigger the cigar, the better it's going to be, and so you can justify spending that money on those cigars. Whereas, I mean, it just comes down to, I think, how you smoke a cigar. And so you can get a smaller ring gauge cigar that I think is going to be more flavorful than a bigger ring gauge cigar, and you're gonna get almost as much smoking pleasure out of that in the sense of like length of time as you are on a bigger ring gauge cigar. That's my own personal opinion. And obviously, if you got like a 55 ring gauge cigar that's 7 inches long or 8 inches long, of course it's gonna take longer to smoke that thing. But if you're smoking a smaller ring gauge cigar and you're not heating it up and everything like that, it's gonna take a while. I mean, I don't know how long I was smoking them, but this has been, I think, over an hour I've been smoking this cigar so far, and I've got a ways to go on it. And so I don't know. I mean, personally, I think smaller ring gauge cigars, just the way that the percentage of tobacco in there compared to the bigger cigars is, you're going to get better flavor. Well, one can only hope. Yeah, 50 cab, I don't know. I think the problem with 50 cabs, though, is that they don't make enough money on it. I mean, they get a 50 cab of cigars and then put 2 bands on it and sell them as boxes of 10, and people are gobbling those things up, and they can sell them for more money. And so, they've taken a box of 50 and done 5 boxes of 10 and made more money on it. So, which, I mean, in a marketing sense, that's smart, doing it that way. But at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, a cabinet of 50, I think that's going to be going away more and more. More and more rare to find a cabinet of 50. Unless you like doing, the smaller ring gauge cigars, like the Partagas Shorts, right? The Por La Renaga Petite Coronas, I think they still do cabinets of 50 on those. I don't think they've discontinued that. But very few cabinets of 50 out there. Very few. How's that punch smoking, Michael? Oh, the Iona Specially Selected cabinet of 50? I just recently think I saw some cabinets of 50 out there for sale. Yeah, Nick, I mean, the thing is, though, is... there you go. Nice. I mean, I think some of this stuff, too, like the shortages did occur, and then now I think that a lot of people are saying that there's a shortage of stuff so they can charge more money, and then everything has gotten inflated in price. And so I don't know if they're going to do that. $70. Yeah, you're a little high on that, I think, personally. You don't have any other way to, like, go cooler on that? I mean, it depends on how long are you going to age them for. I mean, if you're gonna age them for a long period of time, yeah, that may not be the best thing to do. Negative on the cooling, huh? You must live in a pretty hot environment then. Where are you at? I mean, I wouldn't say you're wasting your time. Where are you at? Can you get like a? Can you get a like a winter or a? Yeah, well, you can. Why not get a like a new air, something like that, where you can like lower the temperature a little bit. I mean, those aren't that big. I mean, I don't know how many cigars you've got or whatever it is. I mean, the problem with the new air is that you can't. I got a few like I've been using new airs. The winter doesn't seem to work as well as the new air. The new air's many boxes. Okay. Well, your apartment, if you have a New York City apartment, is it one of the ones where like you have the radiator against the window and then the heating just happens automatically throughout the whole building? You're like in a walk up? Because I lived in a walk up there and the heating was like crazy mad heating. And it happened in the winter. The oil truck would come up and all that kind of stuff. Is that what you have? Or do you have central heating or central whatever there? I mean, if you're on the west side, like where I've lived in Hell's Kitchen. That's all older walk-ups. Okay. So but in the winter, so your constant temperature is like right around 70 degrees, but not quite at times, right? It can be cooler than that. I don't think you're wasting your time. But what I would do, though, is like ones that you really, really like, okay? All right? So ones that you absolutely... Stuyvesant? Bedford Stuyvesant? Okay. You're up way up. Okay. So the thing is, if you have ones that you really, really like, right? You can put probably, I don't know how many boxes. If you take out all those shelves and everything like that out of there, you could probably do, depending on the size of the boxes, I would say you could get like 15 boxes in there. And I would do like your 10 to 15 ones that you absolutely want to age for sure. Get one new air, okay? And then put them in there. And then put them in the plastic bags. And then what I would do is I wouldn't use 69% humidity Bovitas. I would go down to, if you're going to do it in the new air and age them, I would do like 60% Bovitas in the bag, like 60%, and then crank that thing down to like 63 degrees, and then leave them in there and don't even worry about it, and just put them in there. And those are like the 10 to 15 that you like absolutely whatever. The other ones, but I would go down on the humidity on those things too anyway. I would go with 65% if you're at that percentage of Fahrenheit. If you're at, up in the 70s or, a little below or a little above 70, I would go down on the humidity on that thing though too. I would go to 65% humidity on those things. I think that 69% is just too much for that. And I mean, if you can go down to 62% or 60% at that uh, heat, that Fahrenheit, that would be even better, I think. That's what I would do on your Tupper doors. That I would do that. I would knock down the humidity at least to 65% on those. But the ones that, if you get one new air and like you have like 10 or 15 boxes that you can put in there in the plastic bags, I would do, crank that thing down to like, because that thing will go down to 59 degrees. Right? I think mine will go down to 59, the one that I have here. Let me check real quick. It actually goes down to 54 degrees, the new air. But I would crank it down to about 62, because when you start, the problem with those new airs in the winters, the problem with those humidors is they're winadors, whatever you want to call them, is the fact that pelleter chip or whatever it is, if you start cranking it to where it's cooling all the time, those chips have a tendency to break and go out. So you're better off like keeping it about 63 to 64 with the lower humidity in there. The higher temps are gonna cause the fermentation process in the tobacco it's going to be a more rapid fermentation process the higher the temperature goes. The lower the temperature goes, the lower the fermentation process is going to go. And that's what I was talking about in Cuba, where they have high temps, high humidity. And so we have high temp and high humidity, that fermentation process is really going to be sped up quite a bit. So you don't want that to happen so quickly. And so you want to slow that down. And so like I said, if you have your 10 or 15 boxes that you really, really want to age and you just want to set aside and forget, I would get one new air, do those 10 or 15 that you can fit in there with the low humidity Boveda packs at 60%, wrap them in the plastic bag, let all the air out as much as you can, throw them in there and just forget about them. And those are going to, I think, age quite well for you. The other ones, I would lower the humidity anyway. Like get rid of those 69s. Go to like 65. Especially with your apartment being so warm. That's just my opinion on that. Because you're going to have fluctuations in temperature and everything like that, but I mean, the humidity is going to help. And if it's in the plastic bag, it's going to maintain that humidity at 65 or 62. So that's what I would do. You're not wasting your time. I just think that if you do it 69 and 70, it's going to speed up that process, so they're going to age quicker, and you're going to want to smoke them a lot sooner than, say, I don't know how long you want to age them for. How long do you want to age your cigars for? Yeah, 10 years? Okay. All right. So definitely, if you're at a 10-year point, the ones that you throw in your new air, if you have two of the same box, what I would suggest is you do one at the 65% and then the others at the 60 to 62% with that 63 degrees. And then you can see the difference. You'll be able to see the difference. You know what I mean? So if you have two of the same, do one and one, and then you can see, yeah, like 5 years, you're going to be golden at 5. You're going to be good. But lower that humidity. Don't go at 69. Lower it. And the biggest thing, too, is with bugs, in the cigars is the fact that if you're doing it at a higher temperature, the bugs have a tendency to hatch and start eating your cigars. So you definitely want to lower that humidity on there and then watch that temperature. And start smoking some of the cigars. Definitely. Right. And that's smart. That's why you want to put them in the bags. A lot of people don't put them in plastic bags because you definitely want to do that. I mean, I got a big humidor that I have at 50. What was that last time? 53 degrees. It's at 53 degrees for deep storage, and those are all even them. Those are in plastic bags. But what I have a problem with on that humidor, though, is the fact that I get condensation inside there at times as well, because it gets hot here in the summer in California, and I'll have condensation at the top of the humidor, and it'll start dripping water on the cigars. I actually had a box of Prince of Wales from '98, and I forgot to put them in the plastic bag, and water dripped on them and ruined the cigars. So yeah, you definitely want to. That's good. That's why you always want to put your cigars in individual plastic bags. Now where I'm at at the 53, I'm not worrying about bugs. So I'll do 2 boxes per 1 big gallon bag. Never. I mean, the beetles, for some reason, they always seem to be there. It just, they're eggs and they hatch. From my understanding, they just kind of dormant and they're in there. So I don't know exactly, to be quite honest, as far as it goes for that. If you're in a 10-year period, you would have to worry about the beetles hatching, definitely, on those cigars, because that's a definite possibility. I don't know as far as long term goes or whatever, how long it takes. I'm not an expert on that. Yes. Yeah, because you never know. You never know, what's going to hatch, what's not going to hatch, or whatever it is. So, you definitely, um, want to keep an eye on that and keep them quarantined like that. And then, 2 boxes per bag. You might lose 2 boxes, but that's all you're going to lose, and they're not going to hop over into anything else and start eating that as well. So, yeah. No, just keep them in the bags. They'll be fine in the bags. Especially in the Tupperwares too. I mean, you're going to be opening up those bags every now and then to check them out, so you'll be able to see. In the winter, like I said, or in the new year, I would suggest getting a newer humidor. In the newer humidor, if you keep it down at 63, you're going to be pretty good on that, and that's not going to be too bad. Just make sure you have a hygrometer in there with the temperature setting on there, so you have an idea as to how hot it's getting in there in the wintertime, right? And Michael even suggested in the summertime you could probably unplug the winter and the new air, but I mean, if you're keeping your apartment 70 or below in the summer, you still want that extra protection of the new air cooling those cigars in the summertime anyway, just for peace of mind. Yeah, the new airs seem to be better than the winters. But like I said, if you crank that new air down to 54, because it'll go down to 54, it'll do it. Um, if you get the new air and you crank it down to 54, like I said, that Peltier chip or whatever it's called will break. Because it's going to be working, 24/7, 365. And so those things, I would give it maybe 3 to 5 years cranked at 54. If you do it at like at 63 to 64, it's going to last longer because the chip's not going to be working as hard, and the humidor or the wine door is going to be holding that temperature long, for a good period of time. So, and the chip's not going to be working as long. So, yeah. I mean, if you can get one with a compressor. So my girlfriend has one that's actually for wine, and it's a compressor. That one there, actually, a compressor is a different story, right? You're not using that Peltier chip. A compressor actually works better and longer for cooling. The new airs do have that compressor thing, but it has the wine racks in there, and it's not built for cigars. So you'd have to pull all the racks out, and I'm not sure exactly if those racks actually come out or how you can get them out, and then you would have to put something and raise them up above the floor of the wine cooler, and then stack your boxes in there. Yes, you have one that has the temperature on two sides. Yeah. So you have one on one side and one on the other. Now, do you have so if you keep your ones on the left side or the right side, whatever, cooler, does that kind of leach over to the other side though, or is it pretty much insulated to where it's not going to do that? Because I would think that wall that's in between there, whatever, that there would have, that would get rather cool if you keep them too cold on the one side. Oh, well, yeah. So if there's there's a membrane or whatever, there's a wall in between the two. Does it, even though they're welded together, is there enough insulation in there to where it's not going to affect the one side that's warmer? I don't even know about that guy in Tennessee. There you go. So Nico, Michael has it's a Regan. Do you know who makes that Regan humidor, Michael? Oh, here we go. Yeah, I see it online right now. It's kind of pricey. It's $5,200. A Volo humidor, huh? man, that's, yeah, you got to steal. Yeah, so the Avalo, you got the 1200, the 2000. Yes, the Avalo 2000, and that's running at 2300. But still, you're looking at 2225 by 48. Yeah, I don't know what the cooling system is on that. I mean, that's something that you would want to know on that. Because if it's like if it's a Peltier chip and it's not a compressor in these, at the end of the day, the Newer would probably be better if it's not a compressor. Yeah, the humidification system, really, to be quite honest, I mean, you're going to have problems with just looking at it with the drawers and everything like that in there, and the way that it's kind of sequestered. And if you're keeping it at a low temperature, like I don't have the stuff that's in the 53 degree range that I have in my humidor, I don't even worry about humidification inside there that much, really, to be quite honest. They're all in individual bags with their Bovedas and stuff like that in there. So at the end of the day, looking at this humidor, you actually kind of, oh, he's got holes in there, but still the drawers have a tendency to block the humidification from going up or down or whatever it is, even though he has the fans in there. And it looks like it's just the canisters with the like beads or gel in there or something like that, whatever he's doing for the humidification. Yeah, that's just a water canister. Yeah. Like you got to be careful when just putting distilled water in there and everything like that, because your humidity can go up really high. Well, the cooler door, that's what he's got. He's got Tupper doors, but a cooler door would be another thought. But it's going to be insulated, and it's going to pick up the external part of the environment. So once his apartment gets too hot, then it's going to pick that up, and then it's going to go inside, and then that's going to be harder to cool. Yeah. Yeah, you actually need something that's going to, you know, and that's why I'm saying the newer, is it newer? Newer. No, Newer is the lights. Yeah, Newer, let me see here. And the one I did a review on actually does, it does heat and cold. But the Newers all have that Peltier chip in there. If you go to the beverage fridges, let me see, wine fridges, there we go. But the problem with the wine fridge is that the shelves are made for wine. But some of them have compressors. And the compressor is what you want. Like mine has a compressor in it, and it's built for cigars. Yeah, beads are good. Beads work pretty good. Yeah. But my old winter humidor, what I use that for is recharging Boveda packs. I have beads in there, and I keep the beads really humidified. And then I just throw all my Boveda packs in there, and then it recharges them. And because the Peltier chip broke, and I don't want to replace it. You can replace it. It's a bit of a soldering process in there. There's stuff on YouTube where it talks about replacing the Peltier chip on the humidor. But at the end of the day, I just said, screw it. I'm just recharge all my Boveda packs in there. So I got like a ton of them in there, and it just recharges them great. Yeah, for you, you don't really need it. I mean, like I said, like as long as you can keep the temperature down, and you got the Boveda packs in there, then all you're going to need to do is put the Boveda pack, put it in the plastic bag, put it in the humidor, and then call it a day. Right? The beads are like for more like if you're going to do your Tupperware, Coolador, something like that. Your beads are going to work well on that. But as far as it goes for, but what you're doing is you're individually wrapping everything in plastic bags anyway, so you don't need beads or anything like that. You just need the Boveda packs inside the individual plastic bags and then seal up the bag. That's all you're going to need in there. And then the Tupperware, you're going to need to watch out for bugs. Yeah. Yeah, humidity's... Yeah. But I would just get one New Air. And they have... Get the 840. How big is that? The 840 is $14.39. That's got 3 shelves in it and then a drawer on the bottom. And it's got a tank, which I wouldn't use. Yeah, and the drawers are like kind of put in there, so you're not going to be able to put a lot of boxes in there, it looks like. But they sent me one and I did a review on it. I think, which one was that? Okay, it was the New Era CC300H.
Lemonade Renters.
Which is this one. Here's the link to the video. Right there. And then that one actually, the CC300, I don't know if they still sell it. But that one there, you can see how many boxes of cigars I put inside there. Now with the plastic, individual plastic bags, it's going to lessen that a little bit. But that one actually has a heating element and a cooling element in there. So that one does hot or cold. So, but if you set it down to like, you know, it's like I said, 63, you should be fine. Let's see if they still make it. Yep, they do. Oh no, it's discontinued. They don't make that one anymore. That's a bummer. Yeah, because that probably would have been right in your wheelhouse. That one's not that big. It's yeah. But you should get at least one, and do that with at least one. That would be my suggestion on that one. And like I said, lower your humidity on those cigars too. Lower your RH to like 65%. Don't go up to 69. Depending on when I'm going to smoke them, like these ones here, I got the new air set to 63 degrees, and it's got like oh, you can go lower than that. Go to 65. You know, go to, like I said, 65. Yeah, do 65. Yeah, so right now the newer that I have, it's at 66 degrees with 64% humidity in there, and that works just fine for me. Now the other one that I have, the big one that I'm deep storing some stuff in there, that one is like 53 degrees and probably about 53% relative humidity in there. Yeah, no problem. If all my Cuban cigars smoked like this, I'd be a happy man. But they don't, unfortunately. No problem. Yeah, every now and then I hop on here. It's my birthday today, so I figured I'd hop on there. Thanks, man. You're going to get hit by some snow there, I think, pretty quick, aren't you? Yeah, 64, 65, 62, 62. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it says I've been on here for 2 hours, and I've been smoking, God, at least, I think, an hour and a half on this cigar. I don't know about you, but hour and a half's good enough for me. Hey, Michael, where you at? General vicinity. You moved from Encino, so... Oh, Santa Clarita. Okay. I know where you're at. Yeah, that's heading out towards Fraser Park. That can be a bit of a drive though, from Santa Clarita to Sherman Oaks. I mean, during the pandemic, that was great. Oh, okay. I know. Okay, so yeah, you're in Sherman Oaks, right? And we've missed each other quite a few times to meet at the Cigar Warehouse or at what is it, Fat Stogies or something like that over on Ventura Boulevard. You're over there off of Ventura Boulevard, right? Oh, Woodman and Moore Park. Okay. Yeah, going out. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you probably got a lot bigger in your residence moving from Encino out to Santa Clarita, price wise. Better living all the way around, I would imagine. Just except for the commute could be a little bit daunting at times, but not too bad. Well, I think I am going to put that in the ashtray. And I think I'm going to sign off. So it was nice talking with everybody, celebrating my birthday with me today on November 20th. And going to be releasing a video tomorrow. And it's a long video, but hopefully you'll stick with it and you'll enjoy the content. So anyway, I've rambled on enough, and that's enough out of me.